So I want to talk to you about how to finally become a profitable trader in this video. You've been doing this for a while, right? You're doing all the right things. You're journaling, you're tracking your performance, you're using tools like TradeZella, maybe you're using the built-in journaling capabilities in My Funded Futures, right? But you're just not profitable. Inevitably, it's because of those demon days, right? This is what it looks like. You roll out of bed, you open your broker. You're looking at the charts, maybe you're in our Discord, right? Maybe you're following your favorite trader on YouTube and they're live trading. You've been doing all the things. You had a green day yesterday, just yesterday. You had an amazing day. You made like $1,300. Today starts and you can feel it bubbling up inside of you, this little voice inside your head saying, we should high leverage today, right? What's the worst that could happen? You know, I'm on the Discord. I say, hey, I'm going to go long here. I'm going to take 3 M&Q long and I'm going to look for a 200-point trade. You use that call out as a signal to follow that demon voice inside your head. You go long 5 NQ, a trade that's over 10 times bigger than my position. The person that you're following, the trader that you're trying to take advice from in order to be profitable, you over leverage. The trade immediately goes into drawdown, down 17 points. You're down $1,700 where I'm down significantly less. Again, I'm looking for a 200-point expected value on this trade, but because you over leveraged, because you broke your rules, because in one moment you listened to the demon inside, you've thrown everything out the window and you've thrown away days and days and days and days and days of work. Becoming a profitable trader, guys, means that you can't just treat this as a hobby. You can't just treat this as a game, even though it is fun. I love trading. You have to take it seriously, and you have to take it seriously all the time, right? Prop accounts and prop trading give you easy access to leverage that you never would have if you did this the real way. And I say the real way, right? Prop trading is a great entry into trading, but it's not real. There's all these different levels and caveats, and the EV and the way that you manage risk is entirely different than if you're doing it in a real account. So I want to talk to you about how to finally become a profitable trader in this video. For those of you that are new here, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I'm a day trader and I day trade live every single day inside of our Discord. If you're looking for a trading community, go to the link down below, wap.com/tradeedge. There's a link to Trade Edge, which is the name of our trading community. We trade on the edges, which gives you the best expected value. It's super simple, but it's part of what I'm going to talk about in this video, right? Simplicity. How do we become profitable as traders? Simplicity is going to be the first key tenet of that. So get out your notebook for this one. We'll spend a little bit of time in the charts. We'll actually take our notes on the charts. I think that'll be pretty useful here to look at some price action as a backdrop and an example of why this works. But ultimately, this is going to be designed and geared towards helping you really enforce something that you already know, but you're unable to execute on. Okay, as a leader in a community of traders, I see this all the time. I see the failure points, right? All the time of why people blow up. I see people who are winning suddenly lose, and all the reasons and the excuses and literally everything. I see it all, and I see it in numbers probably larger than maybe you see as, you know, somebody who's either trading on your own and, you know, doesn't have access to all the information. So I'm not going to necessarily call anybody individually out, but if this video resonates with you, know that I'm filming this to help you become profitable, because everybody can become a profitable trader. There's a few things that you have to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and open up TradingView and take a look at some charts. And let's take a look. So we're looking at NQ, and the name of our Discord is Trade Edge. It wasn't created originally. Sol named it, honestly. But the name is becoming more and more relevant, especially as I see people not trading at the edges, right? Trading at the edge of the market, looking for the edges of the market, is going to be one of the core tenets of simplifying your trading strategy, right? So the question in this video that we're trying to answer is, let me make a text that's a little less harsh on the eyes. We'll go with blue. Actually, we'll go with red. Might have actually been the best color. We'll go with black text. Okay. Whoops. Let's actually do it like this. There's a book that I recommend everybody read. It's called Principles by Ray Dalio. And I can't even remember I haven't read the book in a long time now. I have it on my shelf here somewhere. But one of the ideas of that book is trying to live your life like an algorithm, right? And one of those is, as it comes to trading, right, the first principle that I would say that you should have as a trader is approach this professionally. Okay, so I'm going to write out some tenets that we're going to follow. So the first one is going to be approach trading professionally. Okay, and I want you to think of all of these principles, that each principle is going to have consequences, right? This should mean something, right? This tenet is a guide rail for our life, really, but really trading as a practice, right? So if I approach trading professionally, the obvious subsequent question is, what does that mean? What does it mean to approach trading professionally? Okay, so an obvious question, we'll just say an OQ, obvious question, I just made that up, is what does that mean? Okay, well, think of the ideal trader in your mind, right? Looking at the price action here, what are some of the big obvious trades that we would like to capture? So let's simplify this chart a little bit. Obviously, man, it would have been great to go long right here. You know, longing the bottom of the market, and catching the macro pivot would be great. Okay, well, let's follow that logic. If we long the bottom of the market and we hold it to this next major pivot, which was the previous macro support, we can see here all these touches. I've talked about this level so many times in so many videos. What are some things that we know we would have had to happen? Well, here we would have faced an immediate up and then a second retest close to our entry, right? So we would have been in profit 300 points, and we would have came back close to our entry about 38 points. Is that something you can stomach? We can see that the full expected value on this through our higher highs and higher lows is about 931 points. So some other consequences of this major price action are, you know, holding through higher highs and higher lows. Okay. Can we do that on the macro? A professional trader, the traders that we aspire to be, are doing just that. There are people who longed here and just held, even though it came back. They held, and then it went exponentially green, and then it came back. And then it went very, very, very green, and then it came back. And then if they really held to the move on Friday, right, that's where they probably took profits, right, back in this zone. That was the previous support zone. But you can see that there was 1, 2, 3 major drawdown periods in this area, and I accidentally got rid of my L there. So if we go back to our tenet of approach trading professionally, what does that mean? Well, it means that on these major moves that we're going to have to hold through obvious price action, being able to hold through drawdown. Okay, what's the next consequence? Being able to hold through the higher highs and the higher lows, these pullbacks. Okay, what is an obvious next consequence of that? Well, that probably means, okay, and we'll just do another one here. TradingView really just does not want me to type effectively. No, just open the whole thing. Okay, reducing risk so we can hold longer. Okay, so we know we need to reduce our risk so we can hold longer. What's something else that we might need to do? Well, we need to ignore pullbacks that are part of the expected price action. Okay, so let's just stop right there. We've got one principle, and this video can go on forever, but we're already 13 minutes in, so it's not going to. But approach trading professionally. What does that mean? Okay, if we want to catch these macro moves, like longing the bottom of the market, for example, that means I need to hold through higher highs and higher lows. We know that the market's always going to do higher highs and higher lows, or looking at this period, for example, it's going to do lower highs and lower lows. If we would have shorted here, okay, at the top of the market, we would have had to held through this drawback, this drawback, this drawback, this drawback, this drawback in order to finally get through here, right? It doesn't matter which way you're going, the market's always going to do a zigzag. So we need to hold through the zigzag. Well, in order to hold through the zigzags, we need to reduce our risk so that we can hold longer. And we need to ignore drawdown that is part of the expected move. So I want you to directly apply this to, your last losing day. Are you getting into trades that ultimately play out in your favor, but your risk was too big to hold through the expected move? Ask yourself that, right? Approach trading professionally. Are you trading too big? Is the risk that you're putting in the market overall too big? Are you looking for the edges of the market? Okay, that's going to be principle number 2. Number 2, we look for the edges of the market. Now, the reason this is so important, you can see here that I'm on the 2-hour chart because this is the time frame that I was last on Friday. A lot of you guys and a lot of people, and this is part of the genesis of this video, are telling me They have trouble on the higher, and they think that the answer is to go to like the 1 minute. I actually had somebody say that they were looking at the 5-second chart. Now, I'm telling you right now, guys, that there's zero chance if we go back through any of this price action on like a day like this, you know, on the 1 minute or any of these other days, you're not going to be able to hold, and we'll really zoom in. Okay. You're not going to be able to hold trades on the 1 minute chart. There's too much information here. Okay. There's too much information on these charts. And the reason I know there is because every single person who's mentioned that they're trading on the lowers blows up consistently. It's the only thing that they do consistently. They're blowing up and they're making significantly less money than I'll make in like one trade. Okay. Same with the 5 minute. Now the 5 minute is tradable. You can trade the 5 minute in my opinion. I've done it a lot. I've done a lot of scalping in my career. It's entirely possible to trade the 5 minute as well as the 15. In my opinion, the lowest time frame that you should really be executing on is probably the 15 if you really want to get some real money out of the market. Significantly lower than that, you're really going to struggle to hold trades, especially in a market like what we have right here. If we go back to the 1 hour, which is, again, our goal is to long the bottom of the market. Okay, if we're going to long the bottom of the market, on the 1 minute, you're not even going to see this. You're not going to see this macro demand up here. It's going to be impossible for you to hold through the drawdown and size correctly, right? So we want to look for the edges of the market. A good example of that is this trade that we called out here. You see that I still have this on my chart, the 425 1 hour POC. So let's turn on the session volume profile. We see that the 1 hour POC was right here. We took 2 longs in this session. Okay, so if I do bar replay, go back here. We took a long, a first long attempt was on this session POC here, this line at 465. Okay, that failed. Okay, I went 25 points red on there. I tried longing at this level. Okay, it failed. And so I just went to the next level, 425 POC 1 hour. If you were trading the lower time frames, you probably took way more than 2 attempts here. You got smoked. I held this trade for over 200 points. So we can see, obviously, we know how it played out. Held that trade from here, even just from here to the 815, this macro here was 400 points. So I didn't even hold that trade to fruition, but because I was looking for the edges of the market in a higher high, higher low situation, it was a really easy trade. It took 2 attempts, right? The prior day point of control and this prior day point of control. Why does that work? How can I know that that's the literal bottom of the market? Even though I was wrong once, I literally was like 3 points away from the bottom on this long. It was an insanely, one of the best trades I've ever taken. Well, I know that we're in a, this is a low, this is a low, this is a low. Somewhere in this area, we need to do a higher low. Okay, this low needs to be higher than this low. Okay, there's only a few places. There's this liquidity here, and there's this liquidity here that we can bounce off of. Okay, for us to maintain our overall higher high, higher low shape. Okay, and that's what we got. So we bounced here, and now we still have this higher low. This low is higher than this low. Okay, it's lower than this low, but it doesn't matter because we're probably going to sweep this into a higher high. So it's just a very obvious, simple way to trade, which is looking for the edges, right? How do we look for the edges? Well, the consequence of that is, we'll just write it down here, look for the next higher high or higher low, or in a downtrend, the lower high or lower low. It's so simple. It's actually annoyingly simple, which is why a lot of people don't do it. A lot of you guys are like, I need money now. Okay. On a day like Friday, where we're mostly consolidating and there's really not much to do. There's not much to do on Friday. Okay. Friday, we had a move here in the morning, but there just wasn't much to do, right? Let me actually exit bar replay. I was like, my chart doesn't look correct here. So we're here Friday, May 3rd. There just wasn't much to do. We can see after this pop in the morning at 8:30, we had a range that was 160 points. Not much when we had other days with 400 point moves, right? Not a ton there. So what do? We do nothing. We do nothing. Unless we're looking for the next higher, higher, higher low. Well, if we think it's going to high, we can start looking for shorts in this area. But generally, we don't want to be doing a lot in this zone. I imagine that a lot of people, all your favorite traders, got smoked here on Friday looking for another big move instead of respecting the overall shape in the market. Okay. And the last tenet of this video is going to be, again, sticking to that point of looking for the edges of the market, keep it simple and don't trade a lot. These roll into our first kind of principle, which is approaching trading professionally. So if we're keeping it simple, we don't trade a lot. We're going to get closer to what some of the best traders in the world are doing, which is looking for big moves and exponential EV. Okay, we're trading futures, right? So technically our risk is linear. I also trade options and things like that, which is where you can get those asymmetric outcomes. But I want to paint a pretty picture for you here, even with futures, in a way that we can think of these moves with some asymmetric returns. Okay, and I'll just use the long that we actually took as a trade. We actually took in our Discord this trade here. Okay, our stop here, by the way, was incredibly tight. Like at most, you could think it's going to come back to this level here. Okay, when we took this long here based off the 1 hour POC from this day, you could look for a possible sweep here, but even then I would just cut it after that level because I know that it's likely not going to run through that because the market has been respecting that. So the RR on this trade was insane. I had like a 10-point stop and we went up ultimately to this 815 was really my target on the day. It wasn't up here. But even on that, just knowing that, yeah, we actually have to sweep this, then 600 points, over 600 points. Okay, so what is the EV on that trade? Looking at the higher time frames, really we were on the 1 hour chart. The RR on that, let's just say 10 to 600 is 10 divided by 600 is a lot. Divided by 10 is 1 to 60. Yeah, it's like a 1 to 60 trade. Pretty crazy if I did that math right. You guys will correct me in the comments, I'm sure, if I didn't. Regardless, though, you can see how that works. The last tenet, really, that is holding you back from being profitable, right? If you do all these things, you really would be profitable. There's no silver bullet here, guys. This is hard. The hard part is executing, right? This is the short list. But again, are you approaching trading professionally? Are you coming into a Discord? Are you looking for call outs? Are you looking for freebies? Are you trying to brain off trade? You think professionals are doing that? No. I'm putting a lot of effort into this. Are you journaling? Okay, all of that rolls into approaching trading professionally. Are you looking for the edges of the market? Okay, are you keeping it simple and not trading a lot? Okay, and number 4 is not succumbing to bad demon days. Okay, you cannot let that little demon inside you run away just because it's a prop account. Okay, you still spent money on that. If you actually want to achieve your goal, you probably signed up for that account again to achieve some goal. It could be just making a ton of money. It could be making a little bit of money. But I bet you didn't sign up to plan to fail. If you did, that's crazy. If you plan to fail, I guess this video isn't for you. If you're somebody who doesn't believe in yourself and you think that trading is a scam, and for some reason you're still watching this video, you're going to comment, it's a scam, this isn't for you, right? This is for people who actually have a purpose, that know they can get it done. They're looking at the people who are successful or looking to replicate that success, right? That requires a baseline level of believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, I can't help you. You're going to fail, and that's just going to be your destiny, right? This is for the people who are kind of stuck in the middle, right? They've seen success, but you're not able to keep executing, right? Write down your own principles, right? Approach trading professionally, which is really the apex of what should be a ton of subsequent principles. Okay, what does it mean to approach trading professionally? Are you journaling every single day? Are you writing down your setups? Do you even have setups? Do you have a trading plan? Are you waking up before the market opens and creating a strategy for that day? Okay, for your favorite traders, are you keeping track of the things that works for them and doesn't work for them? Okay, do you have a strategy? Do you have any spreadsheets at all? Have you spent time actually doing the math to figure out what you need to back into on a daily or monthly basis to achieve your goals? Do you have a 2-year, strategy? Okay, there's all of these things. Are you keeping track of your costs? How much money you've invested, the time? Okay, approach it professionally. Are you looking for the edges of the market? Have you ever caught a trade on the edge of the market on the day? If we know that we're currently right now we're in a higher high, higher low situation. So have you ever woken up any day in this session and thought about, is this the higher high here, and looked for that short? Or are you always looking at the 1 minute trying to catch 5-7 points, missing the bigger picture entirely? Okay, are you keeping it simple? Are you over trading? Are you taking 30-40 trades a day? If you're taking 30-40 trades a day and you're red, why are you doing that? Hasn't worked before. You're going to do it again? That's crazy. Okay, and don't succumb to the demon days. If you have a really good green day, 3 or 4 green days and you wake up and for some reason you just turn on a flippant attitude, don't do that. You'll blow it all up. You hate yourself. And it's really, really going to detract from that positive energy momentum that you've been working on and building, for whatever period of time you've been building it. Hopefully this works for you guys. It really is simple. Once you learn the basics of the market, the fundamentals, right? Understanding the volume profile, understanding the auction, tracking VWAP, making overall trend above or below VWAP, things like that. It really comes down to identifying major trends, waiting patiently for good entries on the higher time frames, and making sure that you're trading small enough to hold for really, 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 really big trades. If you've never caught 100+ points on NQ, you're not doing it right. I'm telling you, you should be able to catch multiple 100+ point trades in a month. No sweat. It honestly is that easy. So if your strategy is looking for 5 or 7 points with high leverage and you're not green, don't come into my comments talking about, well, you can do this, because you are literally proving that it doesn't work. Your P&L is proof of whether your strategy works or not. So if it's not working, don't argue with me about it. I talk to hundreds of traders, right? People DM me all the time. Don't get attached to a losing strategy. It is not an indictment on you, but it does say something about what works and doesn't work. So if something's not working, don't do that. If something is working, you've had a period of success, replicate that fully, right? Go crazy, go absolutely nuts about replicating what works in that period of time all the time. In any case, subscribe to my channel. Almost at 10K. We're at 8.7K as of me filming this video, which is nuts. I'd love to get to 10K here. I don't know, whenever it happens. I appreciate you all, again, watching these videos. You could be watching any video, so I appreciate the fact that you watched this one, and you can do it. We all can do it. Trading is really, really hard, but for anybody who's here watching this video, you're definitely the type of person that can be successful. You have to first and foremost believe in yourself. That is a baseline. Confidence, you have to approach the market confidently. Okay, if you ever need a confidence boost, hit me up. I'll tell you what you need to hear, and what you already know about yourself is that, maybe you stumbled because you hit a roadblock. Roadblocks are out there, but that's okay. Pick yourself up and get ready to jump over the next one. Okay, we learn through our failures. If you failed a lot, this means you've learned more than other people. Okay, but now you have to apply that learning. Learning knowledge is only useful if it's applied. So take the things that you've learned, get ready, okay, prepare, and get ready to apply that knowledge. Don't just let the things that you learned today just go out in 1 year and out the other, right? Make sure that the lessons that you learned today can be applied so that you can get a return on that knowledge tomorrow. You can do it. I believe in you. See you in the next video. Peace.